Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is our last speaker of the day, and we're so happy to welcome him. I just want to get a couple of details out of the way. For those of you who are joining online and you want to listen in a different language other than English, you can click on a little world symbol at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and it says interpretation. You can choose your language of preference from there. For those that are gathered here in person and those online, we will be taking questions at the end of the presentation. Please write your questions into the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And also, Rishi, I want to remind you that we're translating in many different languages. So we want to speak slowly. I'm trying to emulate that right now because our translators are working hard to catch everything that you're saying. We have many people gathered here in Cocore, Italy at the Eden Pranic Center, the World Pranic Festival. And I know that you can only see my face right now, but I want you to envision many, many people gathered here watching you and online as well. So with that, everyone, I want to welcome Rishi Royal to speak with us today. Thank you. Welcome, Rishi.
Namaste. Greetings to Nicholas, the 2022 Pranic Festival production team, the other presenters, and all the viewers. Gratitude and appreciation to all. Well, I have a disclaimer I'd like to say. The spoken words that I'll be sharing, and in general, verbal language is limited and dualistic, full of metaphors and dichotomies. Don't believe me or anyone else. Turn your attention inward. The questions and answers come from the same source within you. You are on a sacred journey of self-discovery and remembering who or what you truly are. I was born and raised in the United States, but I prefer living in Southeast Asian tropical regions of the world. I spent a lot of time in India and various other Southeast Asian countries. I'm going to be referring to notes from time to time because there's many years, a lot of water under the bridge on this journey for me. And so just bear with me at times. So after reading, let's see, it's been 30 33, 30 years. 30 years when I chose to become vegetarian after reading this book called A Diet for a New America. And I basically didn't want to partake in the cutting down of the trees and forests in the world, because I realized, because they do that to raise cattle and cows for human consumption. And for me, that was my inspiration. It was really about the trees, because I realized that humans and trees have a very symbiotic relationship. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, and humans feed on oxygen and release carbon dioxide. So it's a sacred loop that is what initially started this plant-based journey. And from there, soon after, I didn't want to participate in any harm to any animals or living life forms. And so that's what initially was my initial impulse and inspiration for this journey. So, and by the way, that's called ahimsa, is the lifestyle that I refer to living, an ahimsa lifestyle. So I've been a vegetarian for 30 years, a vegan for 27 years, a raw vegan for about 23 years, and then Pranic lifestyle for 20 plus years. And so back in 1999, I began also experimenting with urine therapy, which I don't do regularly anymore. But I do recommend experimenting with this sacred serum. So I want to give you the breakdown of what it's like, say, in a month, what I'm currently and have been for a very long time, what I intake. And that is, I drink water, tea, fruit, juicy fruit, and green leafy veggie juices. And the amount I would drink in a day would be not more than 32 ounces of liquid, and 13 to 16 days of each month, I am in a dry state. So that's no liquid and no food. My pranayama, cardio, or breath practice, is running barefoot on the beach or trails pretty much every day. And that is breathing only through my nose. 24 hours a day, if I'm sleeping or awake, I am breathing out of my nose breathing only. I sleep approximately 20 hours per week. And that would be a 7-day, a week, about 20 hours per week. I swim and bathe in natural wild waters most days. I use no body soap, deodorant, hair dyes. However, twice a month, I will wash my hair with the natural soap. After many years of meditation, of formal sitting meditation, I no longer have a formal practice. It's my life is a walking meditation at this point. Oh, also, I hang upside down on an inversion table about 30 minutes most days. And that brings circulation, blood, oxygen to the brain, which is useful. Let me see, what else do I have here? I feel that exhaling is the most significant part of the breathing cycle. I feel it's the leader, it's the guide. So the focus on exhale, I feel, is primary to the inhale. The inhale will follow, and that's something you want to pay attention to. Yeah. So I'm 55 years old, or Earth years, linear Earth years, but my body is like a boy body, I guess. It's like a 20-something body form. And so I wake from sleep with no aches or pains. And that may be due to also my yoga practice, which I forgot to mention earlier. That is a practice I do most days. Shortly or right after, actually in between my pranayama breathing, barefoot running, and my swimming. I like doing long distance swimming in large bodies of water. And so I definitely wanted to mention the yoga practice is a foundation of my lifestyle. So a point I'd like to make, I feel, is for me was and still is the most important part of my pranic lifestyle journey, and that is that the foundation for it, how I'm able to continue and stabilize in this pranic lifestyle, is it all comes from a spiritual foundation. I didn't begin any kind of health protocol because of wanting a healthier appearance. The appearances and the health of the body was a byproduct, is secondary to the primary impulse and intention of being on a devotional, spiritual life, a monastic life, actually. And so for me, I discovered that having the spiritual foundation first has allowed me to not start and stop the pranic journey. Because everything in my life comes from my devotion to my spiritual evolutionary remembering. However, if you're on the pranic journey, because of appearance and health reasons, that's fine too. It will just more than likely be a slower journey with more stops and starts, because it will be more based on identification with your persona, with your personality. That's why it will be a slower pranic journey with more starts and stops. And that's what I discovered. See, let me just check a note. So I would just like to emphasize that at 55, I'm healthier. I have more vitality, more exuberance than I did in my 20s and 30s. At this point, I believe I shared with you some of the details of my lifestyle, and I can open it up for questions now. And I love questions. There's, as I mentioned, been on this plant-based journey and pranic journey for 30 years. And so there's a vast library of wisdom within me, yet it needs to be, how it's accessed is through questions to activate some of the dormant memories and that dormant wisdom. Okay, is this a good time
Wonderful.
to take on some questions?
Certainly, certainly. Thank you, Rishi. I was wondering if you would be able to expand a little bit on why you think there is an importance with breathing just through the nose.
Okay.
And also,
Well,
you're getting
yeah.
the video of, now you can see the view of everyone sitting under the trees. And we
Oh,
might
nice.
alternate with a live question from the live audience and a question from me from online.
Okay.
Thank
Wonderful.
you, Rishi.
Oh, beautiful, shiny faces. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. So the question is, what do you feel is the significance for you for breathing through the nose?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I feel breathing through the nose is more connected to the intimate mechanics of the body and the operation of the body. It sends signals to the body that all is well, that there is a sense of peace. It is the anchor for me. And I believe that this is what this exotic feature called the nose was meant to do. This is the main apparatus, the nose, for breathing. And breathing out of the mouth, it's more connected to the mind and emotions. It's more, I would say, more animal, possibly lower chakra attribute. Breathing out of the nose is, there's a refinement, a sophistication that will carry your mind and body in a more refined, dynamic, fluid movement in the world. It's not a medical explanation. It's more of a feeling. I feel that the nose is more heart-based and the mouth is more mind, emotional based.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rishi. I would support that in that I teach women about birthing and breath work for birthing, and breathing through the nose activates the parasympathetic nervous system and keeps us in that calm state. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that answer. Yeah. Someone wants to know, do you notice a difference when you are dry fasting and when you are eating for half the month? Do you notice a difference in those days? And what is your proportionality? You've mentioned 13 to 16 days dry. Is that all together or do you mix them?
I was hoping you would ask that.
Great.
Yeah. So the 13 to 16 days every month is not consecutive 13 to 16 days. I have done that, but what is most comfortable for me to also be available and accessible to interact with the world, I break that up to 3 to 4 consistent consecutive days per week. I happen to believe, and I remember reading this somewhere many years ago, that humans used to eat every 3 days. So I've when you're on this journey, I mean, you can be flexible and you can mix it up and play with it by eating, if you're just beginning, try not eating for 1 day a week, and you build that up to maybe every third day you eat or drink. So that's what I've done, and now I'm at a point where when I'm not having to interact with many people, then I'll do my 13 to 16 days consecutive in a month. But most of the time, I still enjoy entertaining the tongue with fluid from time to time, and so my 3 to 4 days dry each week seems to be a good balance that I found. Oh, and yeah, let me finish answering the question. As far as the differences in my feeling, not really, actually. My energy levels are the same. And I mean, the only difference is my sense of taste being entertained, and that's really the only difference.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rishi. Fabio, do we have any questions from the live audience? If so, they can step forward. Thank you.
Hello, Rishi. I want to ask, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I want to ask about, I know you have dedicated yourself to seeking the source and experience the source of everything. And my question is, there kind of source is the seeking outside, is like delusion ourselves, delusion, the being that's here. I know the source is everywhere, but I can understand also that the source that we seek in the meditation, the source, not any like
astrology.
Yes, astral plan.
Okay.
Or other dimension. I mean the source.
Yes, the ultimate.
Nobody. Yeah, the absolute. Yes. Is it like it's only what we call source in spiritual tradition, that's the source is here, but in high vibration, very high, that's everything disappear. There is only oneness remain in this 7, or I don't know what's There is no numbers there. There is no name. There is nothing. And even the void and the light are the same. So what's your perception and your experience? Can you light people, or can you light me about the journey of seeking the source or not seeking the source? And it's like two games, like meditation, walking, and at the same time seeking the source. You understand my question?
Thank you for that. And you are speaking my heart language. So this has been a conundrum. I don't know if you can translate that word. My entire journey with this pranic journey. And it's perplexing. And I call it the game of hide and seek. Source, the absolute, hides when it's seeking itself outside itself. And then it finds it appears to discover itself or even remember. Like, who's remembering? So who or what is remembering? And it's a game we play. You know, I feel that if you, there's like two truths. There's a relative truth and an absolute truth. Okay. Seeking any object, substance, activity, relationship is not where you are going to find ultimate, absolute happiness. Humans have been programmed to believe this, and it's not true. It's impossible. Happiness, and I'm using happiness as the same as self-realization. True happiness can only be found where it has always been, and that is in the being of nature. The being of nature is who you are. And that can't be erased. It's the background of the mind, and it's always there. And this happiness is your true nature. This is your true nature of being. When I say of being, I'm referring to a verb, not a noun. So this is your true nature of being, and it's always been there. So seeking, relentless seeking in an object, an activity, substance, or relationship will not bring you true happiness. Because you're looking outside the source of where that happiness resides, and that's who you are. And that is what animates all creation. You are that source. You are that Christ consciousness, God, Buddha, Allah. You are that. And you are that inside another human as well, because this is the omnipotence. This is the omniscience, the all-pervading grace and love that animates this whole world, and you are that. You are that within every living life form, within every human, every plant, tree, animal. And so we have to remember. So this is a journey of remembering that. It's not about a new discovery. It's about remembering this awareness that animates all creation. And that is your primary identity, which isn't really an identity because it's more like a verb. So, okay. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much for your answers, Rishi. I have a question from someone online who would like to know, in your feeling, could you share how you would describe the importance of music in the whole creation?
Thank you. Well, I'll start by mentioning sound as being possibly before even light. That's my sense in this moment. And as a human with five senses, sound and music is very exuberant and inspirational, and can, without a doubt, bring us intimately within our body. And the expression that the human body displays, inspired by music, is a beautiful language, a beautiful nonverbal dance and language that the human body in this third density can celebrate and actually release a lot of accumulated emotion, which is very healthy. When I'm swimming and I'm running, connected to my breath, my breath is like the soundtrack. And it inspires me to continue that dance of swimming or running. But I feel, yeah, the sound, the frequency of sound, the vibration of sound, quite possibly could have arisen before light. That's my sense. If I have something else that comes up regarding sound, I'll interject that, but that's what I have for now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rishi. Fabio, do we have any more questions from our live audience here at the Eden Pranic Center? If not, I have some from online. Okay, I'll go ahead and ask one from online. And if there's anyone live there who wants to ask a question, I'll ask again after this one. We'll go back again to the body and the pranic process. Someone would like to know, how did you deal with losing body mass and muscle loss? Did you experience a decrease in body mass and muscle loss, and how did you deal with that?
Good question. Thank you. Well, it goes back to something I touched on earlier, which is what came first on my plant-based and then pranic lifestyle journey. What inspired this pranic lifestyle was a spiritual foundation and trust in the eternal perception of who we are. And that is an unwavering trust that lives me, that lives this body. The eternal perception, meaning that I ultimately identify on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis as vibration, frequency, energy, as awareness, as consciousness itself. And therefore, the loss of muscle mass is connected to vanity and ego, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of identification with the body-mind organism. And to experience true love and true happiness, identification with body-mind organism, the majority of your time is not going to produce the stable happiness and love. And so the question about the body mass loss never affected me really. because I was gauging my for lack of a better word, progress on my energy management, my energy levels. And my energy levels were the primary measuring stick for that. However, if you're wanting to maintain the body mass, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone is unique, is a unique flower blossoming at their own pace. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube to help you with that. My yoga practice, so I don't use weights. So my yoga practice, if you hold certain positions long enough, that's going to give you body mass. That's going to make your muscles nice and firm, and that will give you a cut up, for lack of a better word, body physique, if that's your desire.
Thank you so much, Rishi. Fabio, do we have another question from the live audience there? Okay, let's hold on. Was that a yes or a no? It was a wave. Okay, I'll continue with another question that we've got here. And it's one that I noticed right away as well, and somebody else echoed it. So I'll go with this question, that we see your lovely face and also of the face of Ramana Maharshi behind you. And so is this
Oh.
yeah, wonderful. So is Ramana Maharshi an inspiration for you on your path? And you've mentioned that you're on a spiritual trajectory for yourself. So related to this question, did Ramana Maharshi speak about we'll use the description of Pranic living? I know Yogananda referenced some individuals who are living without food. Did Ramana Maharshi speak about that at all?
Yeah, thank you. It just so happens that Ramana Maharshi tears of joy. Ramana Maharshi is my root lineage. And he's been with me for, hold on. He's been with me for, he's been with me, let's see, since 1996. And he's been not him as his form, as his body, but his awareness has been the inner guiding light of my life. And it's been, since 1997. So it's been a minute. And he did speak about, he didn't put much attention on the body, as anyone who knows about him was very evident. He didn't put much attention on focus on the body, but he did, and I think this was because of ahimsa, the to do no harm to other life forms. He did emphasize vegetarian lifestyle. He's Indian, so and it was back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 1920s, 30s, and 40s, where he followed tradition of his culture. So he did drink milk. However, he did emphasize a vegetarian diet, but he didn't go into detail of this. Because he was a living anomaly example of the absolute, all-pervading consciousness. So most of his teachings were done in silence. And you could use the word telepathy. Thank you for the question. It was that question was wonderful. Thank you, because I was able to, feel this incredible love.
Thank you, Rishi. Yes, it felt prominent for me as well, because I actually have the exact same photo on my wall at home, and it's the only photo that I have on my wall as well, similar to how you have it there.
Yeah.
So
there's many photos of him, but one is enough.
Exactly. Along these same lines, kind of touched upon your spiritual lineage with Ramana Maharshi, and there is someone who is listening online, and this is I'm just going to throw this question out there because it seems so interesting to me. I'll just read it word for word. I respect your wisdom and probably have a question to support my development, but I don't know what it is. Would you please respond following your own intuition? Something that would help me.
Seeking, and there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, I was a seeker for many years until grace connected me with Ramana. However, the sooner you get this, the sooner you're going to remember who and what you actually are. And that is seeking too much in objects, activities, relationships, substances for happiness, for love, is going to postpone your remembering of who and what you actually are. It's going to postpone it. That is all. And I would, I recommend this to anyone and everyone, that if the direct path, the non-dual direct path, is a path to quickening, expediting your remembering of who and what you are. Now, many people will say the non-dual path is too mental, you know, and it can be if the ego, which it often does with the non-dual path, gets in the way and makes it and holds on to concepts, spiritual concepts. You can't hold on to any spiritual concepts ultimately to feel the eternal happiness and love, this eternal perception. And so, I mean, there were many mornings for years. I would wake up and I went through these, I'll call it, you know, my personalized mantras of asking questions like, who is waking up? Who is just sleeping? Who is brushing your teeth? Who is eating? Who is drinking? Who is walking? Who is, and if you can, it sounds a little mundane, you know, however, for me, it really helped because, and I found myself in conversations with people in the background asking as I'm engaging in conversation, who or what's having this conversation. And this was really helpful for me. Another one of my main teachers in the same lineage of Ramana is a Western man named Robert Adams. He wrote a book called Silence of the Heart. And if you read that book, and if you read it once and then you use it as an oracle, where you just open any page, or you study that book can expedite people's realization of who and what they are faster than any book I've read. Thank you for the question.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rishi. We're at the top of the hour now, so we're going to close this presentation soon. I just have one more question from someone who says that they want to know if it's possible to reach you outside of this context that you do. Are you doing lessons? Are you doing any teachings?
Yeah. Okay. Well, currently I'm overhauling a website I actually had that offered retreats, silent retreats, and one-on-one mentorship, guidance. But that's no longer online anymore. And however, you can reach me on Facebook. That would probably be the best. And then from there, we could exchange emails and get off the Facebook platform, exchange emails and go from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rishi. It's been such a pleasure to hear you speak and hear about your pranic journey and lifestyle and your spiritual path and inspirations. I know I feel enriched. I'm sure everyone here watching online and here at the Eden Pranic Center are feeling enriched as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and good seeing you again. I remember you from because last year, or maybe a few years ago, there were some technical difficulties, so my presentation didn't happen.
That's beautiful, Rishi. Actually, this is my first time here and my
really?
first time presenting, so maybe
Wow.
it's some other.
Yeah, it's
connection.
some other. I think it's your energy. Yeah, that's really familiar.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.